Hey there folks, and welcome to the next screen trip of 730 mile per hour tryouts. In this tryouts I'm doing the Honda M1 RS 2022. Go next box. So here's the parts you can basically add to the M1 RS, but yeah, I basically just had to slap everything because it is a K car after all, and K cars start with the low power. Well, basically around 63 horsepower. In this one's case, I think it was like 57 apparently. But to say, for the engine is the SO7B, which this motor is, well, I wouldn't say technically all unique, besides the fact it's a turbo version for the M1 RS, but it's also for the SX60 apparently as well. So apparently you can have this motor for the SX60 as well too. But basically I just added every engine part it's fine for this inline 3 at the end of the day. So for the 130 it needs to hit, this needs to be 122 horsepower. So even as big as this is compared to most K cars, it just only needs 122 horsepower for a cute little 4-door hatchback at the end of. Alright, so now onto the wide body, which I might as well discuss this because yeah, this is one of the cars that do get a big change for wide body. As you can see, for the fenders, they just get widened out because that is for the circuit built for the M1 RS in case you want a circuit built for that. And then for the customization, there's a lot you can customize at the end of the day, especially when you add the wide body, it also gives you special modifications for that as well. But for the rims though, if you go with customs, you can shrink it down to 13s. Normally it's 15s, it looks like. It seems, which, yeah, that's usually the perfect margin for rims, to be honest. You also widen the width, but you cannot widen the offset, because I think for the wide body, if you want that wide offset, I think you have to do that in order to get that wide offset. Otherwise, it'll stay thin and trim, basically, at the end of it. And then you got a front lip, you got the side skirt, you can also add a rear skirt too on top of it. That's what I'm showing here. You also had I guess that's what the base model had, was like a little attachment there. You also have tinted windows, because the RS has tinted windows on standard, but I just added the rear skirt instead. And then for spoiler here, you can have basically lip spoilers or a big old spoiler like that, which, yeah, I probably just keep with the lip ones, because the lip ones look really nice for, when it comes to hatchbacks, you want a lip spoiler. It looks so much better. But yeah, then you got roll cage bars, but yeah, go with the Type A because it's a 4-door, which that's probably the biggest thing that shocked me about this, the fact it's a 4-door. And then you can have the lights, which I went with the yellow because I went with my special edition splatter for style and stuff. Which this is the street version, this is not the race version. The race version, I do have decal for that too. I forgot to post that though in this video. But in case you see this one, there should be the race version. You'll see. But to say though, you can also change the license plate, which yeah, the license plate is offset as always, but standard's in the front. And yeah, the grills. Yeah, the grills gets really weird because I don't know what to say about these. At the end of the day, I'm not sure why these type of grills exist at the end of the day. So I looked at the first generation to the second generation, they're basically kind of just relatively the same in terms of look-wise. Yeah, and then you had Brembo brakes, which yeah, I forgot to paint those red. They were supposed to be red. So for tuning, it's technically not much because it's an FF for one thing, so you technically don't really have to do much on that department. If anything, adjust the spoiler and adjust the speed given to it at the end of the day and go with a little RPM because most cars love that low RPM, so it's always good. And low RPM is really great for acceleration anyways. But that's probably going to be the definitive factor when it comes to these type of tryouts in general, when it comes to speed limits like this. So, and then you got gears, which, yeah, make sure to look at these gear ratios closely because just say the first 5 are quicker gears, while the 6th gear is a speed gear. So I made sure it gets a lot of pace into it at the end of the day before it hits that 6th gear. That 6th gear, make sure to stretch that 5th gear to the highest you can get to apply to that 6th gear to get the most out of it. Now that might be stretching the 5th gear, but so you technically get less speed, but for that acceleration though, it really helps for that. But yeah, the rear spoiler non-existent, just put it all the way in front. And then the spoiler in the front, I think it was like mid right, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. So I didn't know if I hit that or not. I think I did. Yeah, him 122.622 when I said the south reverse. But yeah, here's the vinyl too, in case anyone wants the vinyl on top of it. And stuff. So the Honda M1 RS 2022. This is definitely probably my most favorite K car immediately. Because how cute this thing looks. If there's one problem, I will say I will probably choose the wide body over the regular because the wide body gives it that extra oomph to the sides and stuff. For this, it looks very, very thin, I gotta say. If it had a little bit wider base, I would appreciate it even more. But it is what it is, and at the end of it, yeah, I would still end up driving that. Out of all the K cars, probably that one, because, well, for one thing, look how roomy it is for that driver. He's like literally have crap load roof space, and that's very important when it comes to K cars. And not only that, this thing's pretty fast for what it has, considering out of all the K cars, I think this might be like the second highest in terms of horsepower, and like 122 horsepower. The only other ones I could think of in the future here is the Cappuccino and the Carry KC truck. And the Carry KC truck is obvious because it's a K truck. It's gonna need that extra speed. But for the M1 RS though, this thing is an insane little bugger of a hatchback, I gotta say. And it's probably easily like one of my favorites in terms of hatchbacks. If you would think I like the Civic, I sort of do. Because of a bias, because of Pizza Boy at Twist 4, but a little bit. But when I saw this is like you took the Mini Cooper, which is, you know, the biggest problem about Mini Cooper is that they went to the luxury side of things a little bit when it comes to the new Cooper upon, which it does work. You get more, they got way more audience in terms of sales when it comes to the 05 Mini Cooper and above, but it lost the whole pace of it being a small car going around corners at the end of the day, and this car kind of fits that bill if you want a Mini Cooper alternative, I'll say. And then not only that, being a 4-door too, which that shocks me the most, the fact it's 4-door. But I will say the M1 RS is also special because unlike a regular M1, because I will say the biggest problem about the M1, if you're gonna get M1, you're gonna get a CVT if you get a regular M1. The RS is a enthusiast special, sadly. So good luck getting this, but if you do stop and get this, it is a 6-speed little hatchback at the end of the day. So on top of it, that's the crazy part. That this is a 6-speed on top of it. Does it make kind of sense? Yeah, it's a 2022, but it's just still kind of crazy how it feels at the end of the day. But overall, I will say for the M1 series, if you're gonna get M1, I will say they do have it in CVT as well. And then not only that, the other big difference between the M1 RS and the regular one too. So apparently, some of the M1s I read there, apparently they could be all-wheel drive too. On top of it, this one ain't. It's an FF, and it's kind of weird to say that. That's kind of rare in this K cars that we have as of right now, because we do not have the Suzuki AltaWorks and we do not have like anything FF related besides Copen. Just the Copens at best. But yeah, so if you want an alternative FF that's even better, I would say, than the Copen, this thing. Get this thing. As thing goes. But in terms of time pace, as you can see there, actually I don't see it. Oh yeah, that's right. I did the best time immediately at the second lap, that's right. So you've seen the time at this point, what it is. And just say I hopefully did better in the 122.6. I didn't really eye on that because I was just blabbing about the whole bio of the M1 in a good way, and hopefully in a good way. So I always try to go for bio first, and then talk about stats over time here. Because I like to really throw a little bit of story of the car at the end of the day, and how good this car is technically, in terms of its history and stuff. Considering in the future here, there's gonna be an M1 electric one too in the future. But don't know that's gonna be good, and I hope it has solid state battery. That's gonna be kind of expensive though, but yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be better than nothing. But to say though, the M1 RS is a very wonderful machine, considering it hit 122.189. That's not bad. That's not gonna go. Yes. Yeah, let's go look at this time, shall we? Yeah, I still have the thing here. Everything goes. So let's see here, 122.9, that beats the Ford Roadster, I'll tell you that much, for Grand Valley, so that's shocking. However, I think this is kind of where the Honda M1 does kind of fall flat a little bit. I don't think it's not much of a speed car, the more I drove this at the end of the day, but then again, in that 117 on that straightaway of Grand Valley South Reverse, I think it did kind of wonders at the end of the day. It's just very debatable, because just to say, I also did this like in the K Special K event, which by the way, normally this cannot do, with the tune-up given, this normally cannot do the event, but if you, what was the best way to say it? I think you put some weight, like 75, and switch the gears, or switch the transmission to a manual, but keep the gear set up, you'll be fine there. That will suck. But yeah, so overall though, the M1 RS is a very, I want to say, in terms of speed, probably, I would say 4, because the fact it hits 117 from the acceleration given too. And the acceleration also, I would say, maybe a 3 or 4. For the most part. Turning wise, I think it's kind of the standard, a little bit, maybe a bit on the 2 side, because the fact, I will say, it does kind of understeer this a bit for the power given, but that might be because the power might be a bit high for it, perhaps. I'm not really sure to really say on that. But to say though, it just hit 129.948, which that's, not gonna lie, that's pretty crazy for a time already. Yeah, 129.948, that just put it where, oh, it's gotta beat the Copen for one thing. Copen is in 3rd place with 129.4, but its other rival is the Louis Jeep, so hopefully it beats the Jeep here. That's the biggest thing I kind of hope on at the end of the day. But yeah, overall, in terms of stat-wise, this car is very good. If anything, it might have a slight more burning and fuel a tad, but it's just like really outstanding. This thing's an outstanding little K car, and probably the perfect, I'd say perfect for fun size reasons. I will say you can punch it to pedestrian speed too, which is 155 as well. I think that's like pretty maxed out though for this car, because the engine placement is, as you see, I already bought like every engine part to it, so it gets very constricted at that point. But I think it could do the 155 the more I test on it, I think, beforehand. The Suzuki Carry, however, can't, I will say. But that I will. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, where I just looked green. I just show bloopers. Oh my god. Woo! This thing goes. I forgot about that. Here we go, hitting 130.22, because yeah, that was a pretty bad tag, I gotta say. Alright, let's try the better lap, shall we, here. Oh my god. I forgot about that. I was like, woo! Because yeah, that's what I meant by understeer. Understeer will sometimes just jet itself a little too much. But in terms of time, oh, it hit 129.509. That's pretty close to the Copen. Very close to the Copen. Because yeah, the Copen hit 129.494, which still shocked me. I still hit that time with that. Yeah, that's very tight though. Holy crap. That's super tight. Good lord. But yeah, because of the, speaking of the Copen, if you want to know the big difference between the Copen and the M1 there, the M1 did a 122.1, the Copen did a 123.4 on the South Reverse for me. So yeah, that tells you the M1 definitely has more power packed into the car at the end of the day, so Yeah, I think I have to get the celebration 4 at the end of the day. The more I think about it. But yeah, when I say 4, I mean 4 out of 5. So that's pretty good in that sense. And then tire wear, I will say tire wear is of course front heavy. So be careful about your tire wear overall when it comes to the race in general, because that was a big thing to mention when it comes to this one. Because yeah, it is a high weight ratio, and I wonder if I should have adjusted that, but I don't know. Very debatable, because sometimes when you weight adjust, you lose that time at the end of it, so. And I will say, in terms of burn factor, it's not the worst, but it's definitely noticeable over time. Let's see here, 120, oh, it beat the Copen. I think it beat the Copen there. We're on par, I don't know what's worse here. That's pretty freaking close, what is this here? Oh, it beat it. At 129.467, where the Copen was 494. So close. So, yep, so that puts the M1 in second place. Or not second place, but yeah, second place, yeah. Because the Ford Roadster was the highest with the 129.325, which, yeah, that's pretty shocking. That's how close they are to each other on the end of the day. But now on to Tsukuba, which, yeah, Tsukuba, I'm probably just going to say, probably not the greatest for the most part. That Willys G pulled an S tier when it came to this course. And that's not a great sign, because that tells me how much of a monster the Willys Jeep is for this course. And that's weird. That's super weird. But then again, the Willys Jeep is not speed crazy, it's acceleration crazy. And yeah, I should probably took that to a 5 on the acceleration, which I hope I did. But for the Honda M1 though, the Honda M1 RS is, I would say, like, on par with the Roadster here, yeah. In 106.4, where the Roadster's in 1.05.9, so it's very close to the Roadster, and that's kind of where it matters in terms of pace there, because yeah, the Willys Jeep just eats the opponents alive for this one. That's crazy. But then again, reminder that the Willys Jeep also has all-wheel drive, so that acceleration and all-wheel drive combined makes it like easily the most turning benefactor car possible. You know, people kind of shit on all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is like the best thing you could ever have in your car at the end of the day, considering you get power drift, you even get the turn bore, and you technically get all that throttle without you ever barely losing it. That's the benefactor of all-wheel drive. And probably what leads to it being probably going to be the most broken contender when it comes to that. I can't say always, but in most cases, as much as I've seen it, it's usually pretty broken. Is there a trade-off? Well, besides being heavier, so a bit more strain to the tires and stuff, but that heavier could help for more torque, and more torque means more acceleration, so yeah, maybe not entirely. I will note, I think on this time, this was kind of a tough time to pull, if I recall. Going on the roundabouts here for Tsukuba and shit. So, yeah, in terms of the slowest, it was the Sports 800, which not surprised. That had barely acceleration. That was like a 2. So yeah, the acceleration definitely showed that. I will say it did beat the Copen though, so overall this is just better than the Copen. If you want to know a take. I will note, while I say the RS is good, I'm saying as the RS is good, not as the CVT. Until we get the CVT cousin, I can't really say much about that one. I mean, the all-wheel drive is going to be beneficial. It's just the CVT part is my concern, because, and not only that, is the CVT going to be good for transmission too, because usually a problem with some CVTs is that they get a lock transmission of like 115 or so. I know in some of them, besides the Toyota ones, if it's a Toyota one, you just go as much as they want to. The trade-off is there's no acceleration whatsoever, which that might be a technically good thing for the fuel economy side of things. But yeah, in terms of best lap here, we hit a 106.299. That's almost beating the Ford Roadster. Cause damn, that just tells me it's compared to the Ford Roadster. That's weird. That's a weird saying to that. Yeah, almost beat the. Yeah, it basically does beat the. I think it's superior to the Mini Cooper the more I look at this. Be good. If you want to know. So yeah, if you just want a better Mini Cooper, this basically. I will say, of course, the RS one. We don't know. I don't know about the base one, and I kind of wonder if they will give us the base one or not. Because I would like to see the base models in comparison to the enthusiast models at the end of the day. Because this is more of an enthusiast model. This is not the straight up M1. This is just a enthusiast take for the enthusiast people who, you know, appreciate manual funds at the end of it. But yeah, 106.213. Did not beat the Ford Roadster, but damn well close. And probably gonna be close in the long run because this burns less fuel than the Roadster that I do know. But yeah, overall, let's see what I can do, shall we? Which is basically the Sunday Cup. I'll tell you that much. They can do the Sunday Cup Classic on top of it, I will say. And then for the... yeah, you can do the FF Challenge 450. But yeah, probably just blood with the competition if you're running on race hards. Yeah, sports hards, you might get fair competition, maybe. If anything, you have to worry about speed on that, but otherwise it's just fine, really. Then you got the Japanese Clubman Cup, which I don't know if they're ready to show this or not. Maybe not, really, because, yeah, 550 is a big gap, I will say. You might have a possibility to beat them, though. You might, if it's a corner track. If it's not a corner track, you're doomed. But the lightweight K-Cup, you can do this, but you do have to do some adjustments, which is adjustments in case you want them in advance, so enjoy that. Enjoy the tuning alts, because yeah, I will say I will throw a tuning alt if the car so happens to be just a bit higher than it should be. We're trying to say a bit higher, I mean it was like 410. I had to lower it through add more weight in adjusting the transmission to a manual, which the manual's fine because it's 6-speed, so it's pretty good. But I would say, yeah, I can do the 2 tournaments there, and that's really about it. I can't say much for Asia Oceania one. But now on to the race here, which the race here is pretty competitive for the most part for Suzuka Circuit. Because I thought this was going to be like a speed track for them at the end of it, but no, the M1 handled it very nicely. What's up? But yeah, I got the Alfa Romeo Mito, we got the Toyota 86 Grumman, which yeah, that's probably going to be the main competitor, because I noticed that one's usually the main competitor. We got the Audi TT Coupe. What else we got here? The 208 GTI by Peugeot. We got Peugeot. What else we got here? Oh yeah, we got GTO in here too. Forgot about that. And then a Slady. But yeah, this race sums up the GTO in a nutshell and why people also kind of don't like the GTO because of 2 fundamental problems, as you can see there. Considering the tire burn, I think it's really noticeable already for GTO. If you look at the GTO closely when I show the GTO sometimes, you'll notice its front tires are burned like no tomorrow. That I will point out. And then not only that, for being a big burly motor, there is also a trick for that too. Because it also hits like 276 horsepower though. So yeah, it's like roughly triple to this at the end of the day. I will say that's the funny part. Like this car is like still small in the horsepower, even though this is supposed to be like one of the, I want to say the less aerodynamic K cars, but for it being as less aerodynamic it is, that's a good trade to accept at the end of it. It's in 122 horsepower and it's still able to pull some weight against even sports cars like these at the end of the day, even though I consider GTO a GT, even though that's still technically a sports car, I will say, because the GTO is like an in-between, I will say. It's like a hybrid sports car, because by pace it's a sports car, but by what it should be is a GT. So it's kind of interesting for the most part. I will say, yeah, on these straightaways though, they're gonna give me the most, I will say. Hitting 111 here. So not bad for the pace. However, they probably hit like 130, I will say. Yeah, the speed wise, they're gonna get me there. No matter what I do, I just got to let them pass. But the turns and stuff, that's where I'm gonna get them the most. And that's why I kind of picked this track at the end there. Because it has a bit of a both, and that's the good part about the Suzuka circuit. That's what I like about Cause yeah, believe it or not, I like Suzuka Circuit for small cars like these because it's kind of fun to drive this track at the end of the day. It's really weird. It's a weird sensation. I'll say that much. Yeah, GTO twin turbo just sitting right next to me. But yeah, you can see the front tires are burning like no tomorrow. Burning more than the racing hard tires I got for this case. Cause yeah, I got better turn potential. They just have better speed. If I had the same tires, I would be in a worse case about this. But yeah, I just want to prove that if you just had better tires, you could probably beat competitors like these a little bit. Because I will still say they're probably still faster than me no matter what. I had to accept on that at the end of the day. We also got a Celica GT2 on top of it, which also burned the front as well. Kind of weird. Very weird to see that. But here, however, here's the real competitor here, the 911 Corolla RS 1973, the first one, which is the 901. Which, yeah, the reason why it was called the 901, it was supposed to be called the 901, believe it or not, but due to Pojo being a butt about numbers and stuff, Porsche decided, well, being a butt, when I say being a butt, I mean taking all the middle zeros of the number line, when it comes to the 300s or 400s. You can't call it 400 because of Pojo. You can't call it 500, 506 because of Pojo. So Porsche tried to call it 901, which did produce some 901. So if you see an actual 901, that's gonna be shocking. And all I'm just gonna say, it's just a name difference. That's really kind of about it. I think besides some beta stuff. Oh yeah, we also got Alfa Romeo 8C in here. Go old car, go! And we got the Alfa Romeo Mito. That's it. But yeah, so the Porsche at the end, I call it the 911, which is still feels weird because whenever I hear 911, you know what I'm hearing about since I'm a United States citizen. Everything goes. It's like 911. Ah. But no, wait, no, it's a car. It's a car. That's it. That name came way before that incident. Just like, so I was like around 2000 or so for that incident on top of it. But yeah, to say no. But we have Suzuki's. This is the one that shocks me about the Suzuki Swift Sport 2017. I feel like that should be like GT pace, but it really ain't. But then again, Suzuki's known for like the low horsepower kind of hatchbacks at the end of it, and they're still good at the end of it. There's a good trait about when it comes to low horsepower cars. Also, we got the Audi TT Coupe, which that's the one that shocked me most. That's also all-wheel drive, but it's not up here with the rest. I'm just shocked. I figured it would, but maybe that motor's what's holding it back, perhaps. And I got the Slady, which is not a Silvia. Well, it's a Silvia, but it's also a 240SX. It's like it combines two of the best parts of those two cars into one nice looking car at the end of it. Cause yeah, I would want to own a Slady at the end of it because that looks really nice. Which you technically can, because all you have to do is take the. Apparently, you have to take the front flip of the Silvia to the 180SX, and then you have to rewire some stuff, perhaps. It still kind of sounds like a hassle, but you know, it makes the car look really nice. And you know, I'm not one for pop-up headlights either. I kind of prefer the Silvia's fixed fronts. They look so much better. On top of it, because I will say I am one of those people that really don't care about pop-up headlights a little bit. I know the cool factor in some cases. There is some that are pretty cool, but there's a case though you don't really need it at the end of it. Concerning the GTO here, I will say I did saw a clip that someone reminded me because I was looking at race well, the clip was showing alternative racing modifications of the GTO and the Puma color scheme because I didn't know it comes in red or blue. That shocked me. But it was showing the fixed headlights of the GTO, which I do gotta say I like that one a bit more. But yeah, to utter to say though, the Honda M1 RS, if I had to give it in terms of ranking, as a endurance car and as a sprint car, I would say an A. While endurance also. Well, no, I would say, heck, I would kind of give it an S at the end of the day because how superbly good this car is at the end of the day. The thing is, I don't know where to say S or not yet. I think I'm just gonna give it the high grades of A's for now because how good this car is. Even as a sprint car, this car is very amazing in terms of nuance and stuff. And what it would show for endurance, if so happened endurance comes to play, which who knows if Grand Turismo is going to do any more endurance races. I would love it if they do endurance lightweight, like do like a. I would like if they do some kind of cup, lightweight K series that basically what I'm doing, what I'm representing at the end of the day. Where you take these little cars and you're running on like a, I want to say inconsistent of maybe an hour endurance or a half hour for those that are too impatient and stuff. That's quite safe and stuff. But yeah, I would say around that margin. That way people can have fun doing some races in endurance. And no, not the freaking power pack. But yeah, I still haven't got that, by the way. Because I was really debating on that. Because $30 for a power pack is not really that worth it to me. Even though I will say I did miss out on a couple cars because of engine swaps because of that. Because, like example, the Skyline KPC C10 race car they have for the power pack. Because yeah, there's like 6 or 7 cars you can buy for the power pack. And there's a race car of the box Skyline. And the thing is, I skipped that engine swap because that's just made in mind for the power swap. Or power pack, not I just put engine swap in the car. Oh my god. But I just to say the power pack though, I haven't got that yet. I think about it, but I'm gonna wait till it's on sale for that because there's no way I'm fucking in 30 for that. No way, that's like half of a game. I'm sorry to tell you guys. Oh, sorry, I said half a game. I mean, like maybe a third of a game nowadays, considering how bad game prices try to adjust, quote unquote. Quality, quality is this stupid Sophie at the end of the day, and knows this Sophie sucks. Cause yeah, just say I already got another tryouts in place. You're not gonna like it. But I did, cause I did something dirty. But then again, they were also dirty, so in respect, that's what they get. That's what they get for being a rubber banding progressive trash can with a lid. Cause yeah, I gotta say, I think I'm kinda done doing Sophie after that race. That race is what kinda just killed it for me. In my respect to this AI in general. So I'll probably just do any race from now on, just say do Sophie. If Sophie is available, Sophie is available. If not, but yeah. Cause I was gonna, showcase, the goods of Sophie, like how fun it could be, but the more I do this, the more I'm realizing just how terrible it is. Because, and you're probably not realizing this, but they are going a faster pace you would ever deliver on your own pace. Because example, I guess I'll say this in advance, there's a lap of the Clio, because the Clio's gonna be the fucking nemesis on the next one. It did a 248, okay? I did a normal lap with the Clio, because I was curious, like, okay, so how fast of a difference that is? It's 2:50 or 2 minutes and 51, which in my pace to the next car, it did 2:53, which that means technically the Clio won, but it didn't win in that factor though. That's the problem I have about this. The opponent wasn't really showing that time. Instead, it was showing a very slow time and all of a sudden a very fast time. It was being very inconsistent, and that's what I hate about this rubber band entirely, because how inconsistent the punches throws to these Sophie AI at the end of it. And no, I could say it could be just the rare custom AI at the end of the day. Sophie amps that. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but somehow it is amplified. Sophie's AI amplifies that rubber band, and that rubber band is even more tense than ever, causing these cars to hit performances they shouldn't ever hit. Unless you're a pro driver. Then it's possible. Because, like I said, I only did 251 with the Clio. It's probably possible you could probably shave it, probably maybe do a 250. But doing a 248 though, that's insane. At the end of the day, I think we should save this for the next episode, but I might as well just say it now because I already technically did the other tryouts in advance. And oh yeah, here we go. The Clio's going to pits too. But yeah, looking at the dash cams here. Yeah, I was just literally showing the dash cam. I didn't even talk about them. But yeah, look at the relays. Good God. Cause yeah, you technically get to see a bunch of different cars for this one, considering the M1 can challenge these cars. It's a great support. You know, I just put it in. I think I put it in earlier than these guys at the end, but also you got the E6 Grumman just challenging the Sierra. Cause yeah, the Grumman eventually got up here as well. And then the 911 Carrera, he's just cruising so far, which I'm not surprised. He's a very fast contender, like I say, probably the best contender. He's a classic sports car. Which classic sports car, if you give it that little extra oomph to them, they're hitting up in that sports car. Well, heck, I wouldn't say sports car. You technically hit GT performance easily and stuff. Yeah, just looking at my little M1 RS, which yeah, I did the splatter decal. Which yeah, if there's like any lore to that splatter decal, there's technically not. I just kind of just made it on a whim, to be honest. When it came to the splat decal in general, I just thought, you know, if it had paint splats all over the place, I wonder if that would look pretty good. And, you know, so it happened, it kind of does at the end of the day. That's like another car in the future here. Probably the next one after the one contender. You'll get to see that one. You're probably wondering how did I did the decal for that one too. And that one I kind of just gave it like a race flurry at the end of the day. And such. So that's a fun one. And probably the best K car, I will say, because that next one is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, contender. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a double tryouts this week too, I will say. I just got to set that one up as well. Because yeah, I have a bunch of cars that do double tryouts and stuff. I probably will say I'm probably not going to always do that, but if I got the car basically set though, I might as well do it right then and there. That way I still have the memory in hand, and I definitely do it for the Santa bus case. Oh shit, I just said it. Oh well. You now know what it is. But yeah, the M1 RS 2022 is a very magnificent machine, and it does what, you know, it's capable of do at this place. Because yeah, FF cars, you know, people just slack off to FF cars saying they're the terrible stuff. Yeah, they're terrible in the higher performance, but if you ever tried the lower performance, FF cars, like, they're really good at what they do at the end of the day. They deliver what they're supposed to be delivering at just a base of 100 horsepower, and that's the excellence of an FF car in general. It's not that it has to be fast, it's just the way you position it, the way you design it and stuff, it becomes fast. And if you slap 122 horsepower in an RS, you basically get 130 miles per hour. Which, yeah, by the way, everyone went into the pit, by the way. Everyone. So I'm just going on by. I don't know if I hit the horn at all. I'll see you later, bingos. Those bingos. Except for the Carrera RS, I know he's going to come back out eventually here. Yeah, he just got done, 61 fuel. Yeah, he doesn't need a whole lot, because yeah, the 911 Carrera is, I mean, speaking of cars that crates about fuel 50 years off, is that car. I think it has like 173 horsepower, 200 or so. It's not crazy for the most part. Which I'm not surprised for. In 1973, they kind of knew in advance what to do for this car. And that's impressive as hell, I gotta say. The only problem is nowadays, when you compare that to the 911 nowadays, where they decide to add weight to it, which is the biggest mistake they could be doing. I mean, here's the thing though, you can add weight, just don't add 1,000 pounds to it, that's all I'll say. You add 1,000 pounds to it, you ruin what it was supposed to be. So you try to keep it around that weight threshold, between 100, or I would say at least give it 100 if you have to. in case you want to give it more acceleration or something. Even though no matter what, that doesn't change the top speed. I was like, because it turns out weight doesn't really change the top speed. It's just more your acceleration though. And that's the importance of losing weight, because you less strain on your car, so you know, your bolts and stuff ain't gonna panic over time. As a car that's heavier, because you know it's technically the same material, metal, at the end of the day, and the more weight on it, the more strain you're gonna break those at the end of the day. Unless it's more reinforced, or unless it's more, you know, added to it and stuff. But yeah, weight is technically a big crucial thing on that reason, but on the speed reason, it's fine. Weight is crucial to acceleration and stuff, and turning them as well, because you want to keep the car nimble as possible. Because I will say, when I add that weight to the M1, I will say it does handle a bit differently. So beware about that on the lightweight K on top of it and such. But yeah, we're basically onto the last 3 to 4 laps here with a 911 Ferrari RS just giving chase hardcore. You can just see how fast it's moving, because I'm just flipping back and forth, just showing you the speed differences, and yeah, it's a big difference, I gotta say. So hitting that line there, I was like 94 horsepower, I believe. Let's see how fast the 911's hitting right there, shall we? And he's hitting about, I want to say, 123 there. Holy crap, that's a big difference. But then again, not surprised. I put the M1 against competitors that are way higher than its league. Technically, because yeah, if I was at something like, I don't know, Deep Forest Raceway, because yeah, I will say that's where we were going next. That was the biggest regret I had for the single bus. Which I'm debating whether to keep that or not. I probably should just keep it, because it just represents my attitude against Sophie at the end of the day. It just really sucks at the end of the day. It's like, I'm just racing my butt off with the single bus. And next thing you know, this happens. As usual. Because yeah, they just don't ever shut off that stupid rubber band to a more potent consistency. I swear, because it's until they pass you, then they'll chill out. But they'll fucking gun it when they are so far behind. You give them that 10 seconds, they'll leap to another 10 seconds ahead. And it's freaking weird how that works. That's just stupid how that works, and I feel like when they hit a certain seconds behind you, that rubber band should shut off. And is this on professional? Yes, but I don't think professional would affect that. But I could be dead wrong, and that's just how it's gonna be. But if it is, so be it. I just find it really BS and unprofessional in that case. That feels like more chaos than professional. That's what I'm pointing at. I'm pointing at the inner difficulty. I'm not pointing at the difficulty it stands. Because this ain't professional. This is chaos. This is chaotic. That's fine. This is insanity. You're putting the opponents way higher than they ever should be. Just to keep it competitive. And that's what I kind of hate about it, you know. But yeah, in terms of, did I even mention fuel consumption for M1 RS? Cause yeah, even that's pretty good too. Cause it hits like an okay. I would say like maybe 3 or 4 for the most part. Considering how bad this fuel burns are here, it's not bad at all, to be honest. Yeah, we're on to the last 2 laps here, and yeah, that Porsche is just gaining big time. Kind of getting worried here. However, look at the gas tank here. He's kind of getting lowish a little bit. He kind of ate a lot there, I noticed. So maybe that might be the advantage, hopefully, but we'll see here. Cause yeah, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. We also got the 86 Gremlin giving chase too to the 911. I mean, he's not too far off from the 911 top of it. He's about at least 3 to 4 seconds from there. So it's there. And we got the Sierra RS in the fur back, which that's the one that kind of shocked me a little bit how good that's going and stuff. And we got the M1. And then yeah, and just at this point, just kind of cruising on the way there. Well, cruising loosely, more like driving as fast as possible. As you can see, I just did our best lap. As much as I can do with this, which is 233.345, which is not bad, but compared to that Porsche, night and day. So he looks like he's supposed to be gaining like a 4-second gap every time, which is not good because I don't have 4 seconds from me to him right now. So hopefully at some point he gives or something. We got the A6 Gremlin and stuff in 3rd place right now, and then the 911 Corolla just in 2nd as of right now. M1's holding the line a bit, but I can't say for long because yeah, this is where it gets bad to straightaway here. Go to the roundabout here. But yeah, I will say I'm not really fancy with the corners. I do know that some of these corners have names and stuff, similar to Nürburgring too, or Jaffa. In other words, but yeah, just trying to get away from the 911 as quick as I can. But yeah, I think he's about to catch me here, basically. So he's just hauling butt. Because yeah, let's see what time he's about to hit here. Because yeah, he's like 6 seconds quicker right now. Since of his time here, because yeah, like I said, the rubber band just keeps going. Considering he did a best lap on the 8th lap, and he's still just cranking it. Like that rubber band just keeps going. Because yeah, because you would say, oh, it's a Sophie being more master trainer driving, right? No. What is happening is the rubber band that they got from pitting is still on them at the end of the day. So he's doing like a 123. Or not 123, 231. I don't know why I was saying 1. 231, like something there. Which that's not bad, that's what I was kind of expecting. Although, reminder, it's the Porsche 911. And the best part is, that luckily, we won, people. We won. Because yeah, luckily he gave out in the fuel tank, like, thank God. Because you would think he would got more fuel for this, and then, nope, he didn't got enough fuel for this. I got lucky there. I will say. The next one, I'm not gonna be so lucky though. As thing goes. Yeah, so that's basically wraps that for this race in general. Because I basically had the A6 Gremlin after me, but he's not gonna be that crazy for the most part. He is gaining though. He's not as crazy as the Porsche. I mean, look at the Porsche right now. He's kind of pissed off the fact he has a pit. Because now he's just trying to get by all these competitors already. He's just zooming by. Like no tomorrow. I'm still shocked about the GTO though. The GTO, I was expecting him to be kind of a competitor, but no, he's just chilling. It kind of just tells me like some opponents shouldn't have this AI, but some do have this AI for some reason. That's what that kind of tells me a little bit. Like, I do wonder if the AI is adjusted between all cars. Because I will say, I will mention there's a point I'm going to have the Honda Beat, and I hope we don't vote for the Honda Beat, because the Honda Beat kind of like one of the worst ones in terms of stats and stuff. Yep, so now I just head to victory at this point as the 86 Gremlin's doing his damage to give chase. Because he is faster. It's not like a whole lot of faster. Because then again, like Suzuka circuit for the fun size or the cup racers or for cup racers or fun size here, it's still for these cars. This is taking a speed course to them at the end of it. They're in the big 2 straightaways, and then turning's not that much of a big factor at that pace. Yeah, in 233.666, and then let's see what he's in here. I was curious about him. 230.427. Yeah, Jesus, that's almost a new lap or best lap for him. But that basically wraps that for this tryouts here, people. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen there for today. Until then, I'll see you guys all next time when I show you the Volkswagen Samba Bus. So until then, oh, and not just the Samba Bus, it has a Porsche motor in it too. Until then, people, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care and ciao.